Let's look into sales growth, and we'll start out by predicting our sales for the first year. And so we say we can sell 20 cookies per day. So in our class we have 28 students. We'll sell 20 cookies per day. And we'll do that just during the school year. And so we'll assume we can sell 20 cookies per day for each of the 180 days that we go to school. And so then why don't we just do that as a calculation? We say, oh, that equals, won't use the equal sign here yet, it'll be B2 times C2. So B2 times C2. Okay, and then let's put that equal sign in front to make it into a calculation. All right, 3,600. So we'd sell 3,600, and now that's how many units we sold, and we have a nice easy calculation, but we'll do it anyway. So we'll say whatever is in A1, we'll multiply that. So we say D2 times, A2. Okay. So how much we sell by how much profit we make on each one. Okay, so you'll have a different amount, but $1 makes it easy. So we're saying, okay, we're going to multiply these two things together. How much we make from each unit, how many units we'll sell, and we'll get our profit. Okay. So we say, okay, that's our profit per year. Okay, so now let's go and let's see what happens if we assume that we're going to try and grow our business at 10%. So you see down here I've made a tab 10%. Okay. So in here we have our tab of 10%, and let's just we'll delete the values that are in there, and let's go grab our value, and we'll say, oh, and we don't need these, so we'll put that in a separate one. So we'll just have so let's see what happens, and we'll use the values from the other spreadsheet so you can get some practice doing that. Okay, so let's go back and see what was our number of units sold. So we go to the profit and we say, oh, we're going to sell, and that's in D2. So we go here and we say, okay, that equals profit, and then that exclamation point, D2. Remember to put our equal sign in the front of it. Equals profit from D2. So we grab that, and it's 3,600. And then we'll say, we'll multiply that by what we find in the, so we'll say, we'll take B2, what's in B2 times, and what's our profit per piece? Profit, so that from that spreadsheet, profit, what was it back there? It was A2. A2. Okay, and nothing happened, right? Because we have to put that equal sign in there. So we go and put that equal sign in. So okay, now we're multiplying that. And we get what we expect is the profit is that amount. So now, what would it mean to have 10% gain? So we'd take whatever was in this cell and we'd say we're going to expand our sales by 10% in the next year. Maybe we're going to do more advertising. And so we say, so we'll start off and we'll say whatever is in B2, and we're going to multiply it. Well, what does it mean to go up by 10%? Well, it means I have what I had last year, 1, and then 10%, so 1.10. So 1 in 10 hundredths. So times 1, 10. Okay. And now, let's go ahead and put our equal sign so it does the calculation. Equals B2 times 110. And we go up. And now we're just going to propagate that formula down, and we get this increase. And when you look at these, you say, well, I don't want all those decimal point numbers, so I get rid of the decimal point. And so if we could grow by 10% a year, we would be selling 8,439 cookies at the end of the year. Okay? And so we have then our formula here, which says take what's to the left of us and multiply it by the profit in A2. So let's try that. Okay? Why did we get all those zeros? Well, when we look at it, we see, oh, the spreadsheet thought, well, you must want A3 for the next one and A4. So that didn't work. How can we stop the number from A going from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5? That's what that $sign does. So we tell the spreadsheet, we say, we want what's in profit A2 and keep it A2 even if we move the formula down. Okay? So let's try to propagate it again. And when we propagate it, we get what we're expecting. Do the same thing with the getting rid of the decimal points. So now let's create a chart that shows how we think, if we can keep 10% growth per year, how we think we're going to grow our product. And so we highlight year 1 through 10 and the amount of cookies sold. Then we click on Insert Chart. And you see that we get this nice chart. Looks a little funny, the year 1, so maybe we'll try again. So maybe we'll pick the extra thing and see if we get year 1 as well now. So we go Insert, Chart. That looks better. You get year 1 and the title looks good. And so we say, yes, insert this chart. Okay. So there you go. And you can move to its own sheet, and you can move your chart to there's chart 1 now. So you see how it's formed its own chart. So you can see that we get up, and so in 10 years, you'll be selling 8,000 cookies. Now we're going to try and take a look at what this would be at 20% and at 100%. Okay, so you want to do the same thing. So we go to the data sheet 20%, and in there we just copy the same formulas we had. So we get profit, that spreadsheet, that data sheet D2, and that has how many we sold, and then we multiply that. We multiply B2 by the profit. However, in year 2, we're going to do something different. So now we're going to say that it equals in year 2, it's going to equal what's in year 1, B2 times 1.20. So this is a 20% growth rate. So we'll put in the equal sign to get the spreadsheet to do the calculation. And you can see that we get this nice growth. Okay. And now let's pull that formula down. So see what happens when we have 20% growth. Okay. So you see we get to a much higher number. So in year 10 we'll be selling 18,000 cookies. And since we make $1 per unit, we'll be making 18,000. Okay, so let's go over now to the 100% growth. So a very rapid growing company doubles its sales each year, 100%. Okay, so as we look at this, okay, so what would it be like if we had 100% growth? What would our formula be? So we say, okay, year 1, that was our sales. And so if you have 100% growth each year, what's happening? So we're taking whatever is in B2 and we're multiplying it by 2. All right, 2.00 if you want, but by 2. So let's make that into our formula. So we say equals B.2 times 2. So you can see we get this nice growth. But what's going to happen if you could double in size every year? Okay. Well, as you can see, it's really great. So let's make it a little wider for you. So you're going to be selling 1 million cookies by this. Now when you take a look at this, I want you to think about it. So how hard was it to go from 3,600 to 7,200? Well, maybe you just have to go to another school, or maybe just sell during the summer. And so to go from 7,000 to 14,000, so maybe you'd go to all the schools in White County. To go from 14,000 to 28,000, maybe you'd go to Durham County. And so you can see the steps. But how would you get from 28,000? Well, then you'd have to go to 3 more counties, right? Going to 1 more county wouldn't be enough. And say you're selling 50,000. So maybe now you'd have to go to every county in, perhaps in the Piedmont. And then perhaps you'd have to go to, and at some point, maybe you'd have to cover the whole state. And then to go from there, you'd have to expand to a whole nother state. So let's go ahead and make a chart of this as well and see what this chart looks like. And this is what people are looking for when they invest, is this company that's growing rapidly. But you have to remember that at some point, is it really realistic that you'll be selling 1 million cookies? Or that, let's say it lasts till year 10. Can you just keep doing it? It's hard to keep growing at the same rate. So let's insert our chart. And this is what investors want to see. This is what is that you're doing this really steep growth. That's what your investor wants to see. So that's what you try and make up reasons that make this possible. Okay, so we'll go in and we'll put the chart into its own sheet.